4 mana, so he can't Abrupt Decay it.
Oh no, I guess he could theoretically go double Mox Diamond, Burning Wish for Shatter Spree.
Okay. So there is a very small chance of that working out. So we'll see what happens here. So he's examining hands, making sure they all have 7.
Both players keep their 7.
Oh, I see. His hand looks disgusting. This looks like a turn 1 kill.
Is this something to do with all that mana?
This has a turn 1 kill. Because he has...
All right, good game.
Well, let's calculate real quick to make sure. He's get 2 mana from, or 1 mana from the land grant. The land, obviously. Simian Spirit Guide equals 2. This Ritual gives him 3. Tinderwall nets him 1, gives him 4.
We don't actually know that he's going to go off because those 2 mana Morphos, there's no telling what they're going to do.
Right. If they draw a Lion's Eye Diamond or a mana source, a ritual of any sort, then that's going to be enough. But I don't know. I think you still try it, right?
Yeah, why not?
Your deck is... Maybe don't ritual right off the bat. Just go ahead and mana Morphos first.
Because what if you just play Tinderwall? If you just play Tinderwall, the next turn you're going to have 1 from your land, 2 from your Tinderwall is 3, the Ritual is 4, Simian Spirit Guide is 5, and then if Mana Morphos draws into anything.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know.
I guess you can... There's no harm in using 1 Mana Morphos now.
Well, there is. It costs you a Ritual.
Simian Spirit Guide, yeah.
You're actually down a Ritual.
Yeah, so I guess... Do you say
Ben Perry is a very experienced player.
2 cards in the dark.
Matchup, what's he even going to do?
Isn't every card in his deck a ritual, though, pretty much?
Yeah, but he needs to actually draw one of the big rituals in order to actually get ahead. Because if Mana Morphos just draws regular rituals, like worth 1 mana, he'll actually be a mana short.
Okay, yeah, I kind of, well, the safe play obviously here is...
But if he just gets Belcher into play, he could sit on some of this mana. Like, he doesn't have to blow all of them.
Right, yeah.
Because then he could use more rituals next turn to actually activate the freaking Belcher.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we'll see if he goes. There's a conservative route and an aggressive route. Conservative would just play the Tinderwall, but he doesn't know Kurt's hand. Kurt kept the 7.
Playing Belcher.
You're playing Belcher.
I don't think conservative is in your vocabulary.
Not even a word. Yeah, I don't even know. I played
it's
Belcher.
Not clear people who play Belcher even play words.
It was my first Grand Prix or Legacy. I played Belcher, and I went 0-2, and it was pretty awesome. I actually went off and did 18 the first match, and then I went and did 2 the second game. Not enough.
All right, so there's Tinderwall.
We're going safe route.
No. Sacks the Tinderwall, Mana Morphos.
Nope, we're doing it.
What's doing it? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Putting on a little show for the camera.
Oh, that's a Burning Wish.
That is a Burning Wish. That's exactly what he did not
He can
want.
also empty the Warrens here if he can't go off. He can empty the Warrens. Does he have mana for empty the Warrens?
So there's Gitaxian Probe. Just keep it going.
Yep. Because he's already at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spells. I think he has enough. Let's see.
No, but he doesn't have enough mana to cast Burning Wish for empty the Warren.
Yeah, but he needs 7 for Belcher and 6 to do that, right? So he's still 1 mana short. He's 1 mana short.
So he sees that Kurt has a turn 1 Burning Wish, and if Kurt draws a land, then he could actually theoretically even Burning Wish for Thoughtseize and cast it.
Oh, he drew a ritual, so he can empty the Warrens because he has 2 mana right now, 3 from the Simian Spirit Guide, 4 from the first ritual, 5 from the second ritual. Oh wait, he's 1 short. 1 short. I guess we count the splice. You can't splice here. You don't have enough for that.
No. But what he can do is put his Belcher in play and just pass the turn.
Okay. Yep. Is there a Burning Wish target he can do to net him some mana here?
No, not with as little mana as he had. Yeah, no. I mean, the closest thing would be Infernal Tutor, but...
Yep, he's going to do what you said. Belcher in play.
And he's got Simian Spirit Guide in his hand and land in play, so any ritual is going to let him... Although it looks like Kurt drew Wasteland, which is very, very solid draw here.
That is one of the best draws, right? Because you know your opponent needs 1 land here. Oh no. He's just going to Shattering Spree.
Yep, Burning Wish for Shattering Spree. Yeah, it's interesting Perry chose this line knowing that if his opponent drew any land, he'd be able to Burning Wish for Shatter Spree.
And this isn't one of your 21 or 19 land legacy decks. This is a 26 land loam deck, so the chance of drawing land pretty good.
So there's the Spirit Guide.
He would have had him.
Yep, he needed to draw any ritual and not the Burning Wish.
And you're right, if he would have waited with Tinderwall, he could have probably at least emptied the Warrens this turn.
But either way, now he's just got to sit around and build up.
Yep, try again. I haven't seen a Belcher deck win after a fizzling right off the bat, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Chalice on 1, too. This is brutal.
Yeah.
He knows that Perry has no more mana, no land left in his deck, and a Chalice on 1. Perry ships the turn again. The loneliest wasteland.
It is. That's a pretty good one.
I had the Reliquary putting Perry on a 4-turn clock.
Yep.
Perry ships the turn.
So Punish Fire, another Wasteland in his hand.
The Wastelands itself, so that the Knight puts him on a 3-turn clock.
Yep.
I mean, he's not wasting anything out of Perry. Like, we're just sitting here racing.
Yep.
Perry picks up his hand. He's got a lot of mana.
Oh, I see lines on diamond. I see a bunch of spirit guides. I see mana galore, like you said.
And he does have that Burning Wish. His big plan at this point is to get enough mana so that he can go Burning Wish, crack the LED in response, empty the warrens.
I like it.
How close is he?
I can't really see his hand. We know he has 2 spirit guides. We know he has the LED. We know he has the Burning Wish. And then 2 Seething Song. So he's one.
So that's pretty good. That's 3 cast Seething Song,
Yeah.
crack LED in response.
Yeah, that should be
Or
right.
no, cast Seething Song, then cast Burning Wish, then LED in response, empty the warrens.
Yes.
This is enough. The question is, does he wait one more turn just to wait? Because it's
Wait,
not
does
going
he
to be
have?
empty for
He
very
needs
big.
3 mana to do the Seething Song, right?
He's
So-
got 3 Spirit Guides, right?
Does he have 3? Yes, you're right. So he has
Yeah,
enough.
but if he waits one more turn, he can have a bigger storm count. And he might be figuring, oh, that Knight of the Reliquary isn't going to kill me anyway.
Nope, he's going for it.
He decides he's going to do it. The storm count is at 1.
Is this going to be enough? He has. I don't
It's
know.
only an empty for 8 guys.
Yeah.
3 Spirit Guides. Doesn't even beat the board, though.
No. I think it's in his best interest to wait one more turn because he can't kill Ben the next turn. All right, so here we
Burning
go.
Wish.
We're gonna go get empty the warrens. We'll make some goblins.
It actually might beat the board. Because if you attack with all set, like if the knight attacks, you can actually take it one time, but you can keep attacking.
Yeah, we'll hold
And-
one back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it actually stalls the board pretty effectively. I don't think Kurt can attack. Even so, you block with all 8 guys. Kurt's down to 0 cards besides the Punishing Fire.
Is there any chance he goes and gets diminishing returns?
I don't think so. I don't think he has the mana. He
Well,
has,
yes, exactly.
Well, he can cast it, but ooh.
Thought so.
Oh.
Yeah, because I don't think he just wants to stall. I think he actually wants to win.
Okay, so
Diminishing returns.
there are some tricky things with the diminishing returns here because we know his 1 land's gone. Okay, so he is.
But it's going to
solely-
shuffle back in.
Oh yeah, oh, you're right. So the only thing not shuffling back in are some spirit guides.
Yeah, and the Burning Wish.
Okay.
And the
Oh
diminishing
wait,
returns,
of course. Diminishing returns is a little bit different than the average draw 7 card. You have to exile the top 10 cards of your library before you draw your 7. So there's the drawback because otherwise it's 1 mana more than a piece of power there, right? Twister. So we need to have some kind of kicker here. So we're going to draw 7 here, and what Kurt wants to draw is definitely some kind of interaction they can do. Okay, maybe he won't win. Obviously, he can't do anything with being tapped out. But he can easily do a few things when he untaps. He can use Abrupt Decay to kill mana sources that stay in play. He can draw.
Remember that knight is much smaller now because of the diminishing returns.
Oh yeah, so this is the
That's
clock.
one of the big.
Oh, you're right.
features.
Actually, Dimension Returns is definitely a much better play.
Yeah, stalls it out just like Empty the Warrens,
Right.
but gives you 7 cards instead of 7 extra goblins.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting about the diminishing returns in this spot, though, is that most of the rituals are still turned on despite the chalice. I don't even think it's necessarily that much about what Kurt draws. I think it's mostly about what Ben draws.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's definitely more in Ben's court here. Problem is, he's back to an opening hand situation and then facing down the chalice. So he can't draw cards like, let's see, what's 1 mana is that? Tinderwall does nothing.
He doesn't want Tinderwall, Rite of Flame, or
Gitaxian
Gitaxian Probe. But other than that, he's got mostly hits. 48 hits and only 12 blanks.
Definitely, he needs to get lucky though, because he only has 8 Spirit Guides total. 3 are gone. He's milling the top 10. I don't think there's a hand he can craft without at least one of those Spirit Guides, especially without all those 1 mana accelerants too.
So what he can do is have enough Lotus Petals.
He's gonna need a lot of Lotus Petals. though.
Not even that many. As long as he's got 1 Lotus Petal and a land grant, he
Land
can actually,
grant,
if he has Lotus Petal and a land grant, he can actually cast any one of his 2 mana rituals and then start moving up from there. Seething Song and Lion's Eye Diamond are super important because they're
Yeah.
the ones that actually give him more than 1 mana, because ideally he tries to get at least 6 or 7 mana
Right.
and a threat.
Yeah, and actually he has Infernal Tutor in the sideboard, so he can play LED, sack it, or with a Burning Wish on the sack, get the Infernal Tutor with mana floating, being the last card in his hand, cast it, and then we get Charbelcher and kill him. So he's got lots of ways to get to the finish line, if you will.
Yeah. And I think it's more likely we'd end up seeing just an enormous empty,
the
just
Warrens?
because, getting enough mana to be able to Infernal
Does he
Tutor.
have any answer? He does. Actually, Empty the Warrens, if Kurt draws a Devastating Dreams, that'll devastate his dreams. That'll
Absolutely.
be over. That'll be
Yep.
over. So I think we want to belch him here. I mean, with all honesty here. Oh, he milled some good ones there. If that was his hand, I would have been pretty excited. That's not a bad hand.
All right, exile some cards.
Would you have played Chalice for 0 here instead of 1? Would that have been better? I think it shuts off more of the impact cards. Like Lines Like Diamonds, easily the best mana card in his deck especially when you're already fizzled out and you're trying to grind back in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty close.
Okay, let's take a look what he has here. We see an LED, we see Empty the Warrens, we see a Burning Wish.
Does he have any way to get an extra mana this turn?
He has Land Grant?
He has Land Grant to get the Taiga, but he doesn't actually have any way to get started, right?
No.
As soon as he draws one more mana source that he can actually play,
right,
then he can win. But until then, it's interesting. So he decides to play the LED, despite the fact that he's not going to do anything with it.
Are we missing a card?
No, I think he's just double checking. Yeah, so he decides to play the LED now, despite the fact that...
Oh, he's definitely don't have the mana for anything.
Oh, did he have a mana floating?
Oh, he must have a mana floating.
If he has a mana floating, then...
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Because of the LED and the... yes, he did. Because he had 6 mana. 3 Spirit Guides, LED. And he only needed 5. Or no, he used all 6. So that's 6 then. Where'd the mana come from? Did he have an extra mana from a ritual? We might have missed a ritual. He clearly has another mana. He wouldn't be doing this otherwise.
Oh, we'll see. I wouldn't count on it yet. He's deranged. He's playing Belcher.
Yeah, this is going to be... If he has the mana floating, then this is... how many spells were cast? This is number 6, I believe? Yeah, Diminishing Returns, 1.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any mana.
We'll find out. Otherwise, he's just having a good time. Okay, so... actually,
this isn't enough counting.
I think he does have mana. He has mana floating. Double red still floating. Okay, so he's got all the mana he needs. This is going to be a huge Empty the Warrens.
Oh, the Seething Song gives him 3 extra because
yeah,
it was 5 minus 2 for Burning Wish is 3 plus LED is 6
okay,
minus 4 for Diminishing Returns. So he actually has red floating.
Okay.
Which in that case we're going to see. Does he have Burning Wish in his hand now?
Yes.
So he actually might do the Infernal Tutor plan.
Yeah, because it just kills him right now. There's no reason.
Yeah, because you definitely don't want to rely on the empty.
Oh yeah, he's very dead. Yeah, if you have LED and Burning Wish with all that mana, you're belching.
Yeah, so he went from 2 to 3 to 5, now to 7.
Tons of mana.
Yep, now to 7. He's got a land which makes 8.
LED 11.
Yeah,
11 mana.
He's going to spend 2 on Burning Wish is 9, 2 on Infernal Tutor is 7,
and
4 on Charbelcher, and 3 to activate.
Yep.
For Xaxes.
Okay.
If he sees that line. Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to rely on empty, because if he empties, you know, he's leaving himself vulnerable to a possible devastating dreams.
Yes, you just kill him.
He's just double checking, make sure the story checks out.
Yep.
He did the math. LED, crack it. Gonna need some black. You're absolutely right. The Infernal Tutor for the Infernal Tutor of the sideboard plan.
Yeah, it's turned out perfect. I mean, hey, having exact mana is not a shabby thing there. Pretty nice. So we see Belcher pretty resilient. Bounces back with I remember Belcher of old. I don't remember Diminishing Returns. I guess maybe I haven't played against Belcher in a very long time.
No. Yeah, Diminishing Returns has been a standby in these Burning Wish decks for a long time.
Yeah, I just haven't seen it, I guess. And when I play
when
against
you
Belcher,
have so many rituals that you're playing like a Storm deck. You know, a lot of the Storm decks do the same thing.
Yeah. I guess because a lot of these times when you're playing against Disruption, I mean, I usually find myself thought-seizing a Belcher and then just surgical.
You know, and people like to give Belcher a hard time because of just how fast and obnoxious it is.
Yeah.
But as we saw this game, Ben Perry playing masterfully. I mean, this is some excellent play on Ben Perry's part, putting together the a comeback. You know, he's at a spot where he has no cards, no mana, nothing, and still manages to put himself, in a spot where he actually wins.
Yep. He's explaining to Kurt that he only has 1 land. Pointing at neither Elcor, he's like, "Can you please kill my knight instead of me?" He's asking.
Ben Perry going to flip his deck.
He's like, "Please go ahead and kill knight. It's dead."
Yep, there's the flip, and Kurt packs it in. He knows his deck list. He knows there's no land. Ben Perry motioning with his hands. You know, player.
Kurt
player. He's like, no, Knight of the Reliquary? No, player.
No, player. Player. Face. Dome. All right, so game 2. We have Belcher.
And, by the way, we have an update, right? Like Hoey actually won game 1. Is that correct? I believe so. Matt Hoey with his Shardless Bug deck winning game 1.
And he's playing against the Ruben Bresler. Okay. So we have some trivia. Would you like to come up with a
Oh,
lovely
I've got
question?
some trivia.
Okay, hey, you are the trivia man.
Oh, absolutely.
Do it up.
All right. So we were discussing some of the lore earlier tonight. And for anybody who is paying attention at any point during this, what is the name of the Goblin Nabob that is immortal? There's a particular Goblin Nabob that was personified on a card as a legend. He has a particular toy.
Didn't he have revenge at one point too?
Oh my god, there's so many different facets to this
Yeah.
personality. I think he's even a Dota character. No, in all seriousness. So if you know Squee's name, text or tweet us at SCG Live.
I think you accidentally said
No,
the
no,
name.
no. We can tweet at us at SCG Live.
All
Make sure to use hashtag SCG Premium.
Right.
We're gonna need both SCG Live, you gotta follow us, and SCG Premium, and the answer to this particular Goblin Nabob's name.
Mm-hmm.
If you and you have to spell it correctly.
Right, yeah, we're not taking misspells here.
No.
Absolutely
No.
No.
It's like, because honestly, enough people are entering this that we gotta just squeeze the
We have
competition
to
to
squeeze
make
it
sure.
out. I remember, I think it's pretty good with Oath of Druids too, and Master Cores. There's all
I
kinds of cool
don't think
cards.
you want to put it with Oath of Druids.
No, excuse me.
It's probably better with Survival of the Fittest.
Survival of the Fittest is what I meant.
Yeah.
So yeah, Survival.
I don't think
no, you
it's
want to
for
Oath it
of
and
the
play? Why not?
I don't think you want to Oath of Druids.
What
it.
about
You're thinking of
matroning?
the
What
other
if you
Dota.
Goblin
You're
Matron? Would
thinking
you
of
go
the
pick it
other
up?
Magic card that became a Dota character, Morphling. You don't want.
Right,
You don't
right.
want to do this one. This one, no.
I would.
But yes, tweet at us at SCG Live, and make sure to use the hashtag SCG Premium, and win 3 months of premium for
Premium.
freezies.
So, game 2.
Yes, game
Belcher.
2 of Goblin Charbelcher is one of the, I know that it gets kind of a bad reputation because of the fact that it has a bad reputation.
Right.
But it's kind of evil. It's like pain and suffering. It's
Yeah.
not like good on its own, but there are some good elements to it. Like for
Right.
instance, that game was actually pretty exciting. It was
Yeah,
really
yeah,
interesting
it
to
was-
see the turnaround.
Right. I mean, people kind of scoff at the kind of the solitaire style decks where I'm not really worried about what you're doing. If you don't have a force of will, I win. Dredge is another one people don't like watching. We have one of those in the top 8. But these are decks that, even though they get a bad rep, they're still an integral part of the legacy metagame. Like, you just can't come into a tournament without any answers for the graveyard. You can't come into a tournament without any answers for a storm-based deck.
I don't even know how we could go on if nobody played Belcher. I mean, that's basically just a fact of life.
Right, yeah. So look at the sideboard here. We got 4 Xantid Swarm, not so good. Guttural Response, not so good. And then the rest are Burning Wish targets. So we pretty much have no sideboard from the Belcher player. We have nada. He could board in maybe one ofs that he might find useful, like a Hull Breach. But I'd probably leave in almost everything here against Kurt Crane. Maybe the Forest in the sideboard, because you don't want to get Wasteland out of the game. Maybe that's what the Forest is for. What do you think? Do you think he has one Forest in the sideboard of Belcher for these particular Wasteland decks that you take out your dual land and put in the Forest for safety?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what the one Forest is going to do here. The rest of his sideboard, like I was discussing, 4 Xantid Swarm and 3 Guttural Response for blue decks. He's not playing against blue, so going to leave those on the board. On the other side, you have Thalia, a fantastic card against this deck. Probably better against this deck than most combo decks. Aethersworn Canis, fantastic card against these decks. And then you have your Burning Wish sideboard here. Again, we don't really want to take out much of the things here because you want to be able to Burning Wish for them, especially something like Slaughter Games, because it's something where you just take out an entire aspect of Ben's deck. Remove your Charbelchers. Good luck with your Goblins, because I have tons of Devastating Dreams to stop that. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a spot where the 5 white creatures are going to come in, and quite possibly none of the other cards. I mean, he might board in one out of like Slaughter Games or Thoughtseize, and just keep the other one in the board. But more likely he'll
Maybe
just board in the
Maelstrom
white
Pulse
creatures.
too is not too bad as a one of their hits the Goblins, hits the artifacts, hits Charbelcher or
Well,
once
the
in
nice
play.
thing about Maelstrom Pulse, I guess the nice thing about Maelstrom Pulse is just the ability for it to be a target to go get with Burning Wish when you need to clean up the Empty the Warren tokens.
Maybe Shattering Spree. Or he already has one Devastating Dreams on the board too, so he definitely can bring in like some of those bullets there, because you're not going to ever wish for more than one in the
And
game.
plus, occasionally Maelstrom Pulse will just destroy a Lie Inside Diamond sitting in play or something.
Absolutely. So I think Kurt Crane obviously has a nice little sideboard for Ben. The reason why Ben, I'm not too worried about his lack of board, is because his main deck's already pretty good against this deck. I mean, Ben,
I mean, he's got a forest.
If you
it's
ask-
more than he has in a lot of matchups.
Yeah, that's true. If you ask Ben what decks you don't want to play against, the answer has to be the blue decks, because not only do they have Force of Will, well, most of them have him, Force of Will, Thought Seeds. There's everything that is just scary in this world. And if Ben's playing against a non-blue deck, you got to be feeling pretty good. You look at your turn 1 win, you're like, oh, well, I know you don't have anything for this. Dead.
Yeah, and it's good that he actually has both Shattering Spree and Hull Breach. Shattering Spree is obviously the go-to artifact removal spell for being able to get rid of something like an Ethersworn Canonist or a Chalice of the Void. But if a Chalice of the Void's on 1, he might actually have to Burning Wish for Hull Breach to be able to get rid of it.
I just noticed the Pyroclasm. What a blow that would be against a Thalia and an Aethersworn Canonist.
Absolutely.
Take them both out.
Yeah.
One swing here. So Xanath Swarm, that's an interesting card. It shows you how bad your blue matchup is actually, because if you're 7 out of 7 sideboard cards for blue decks, you're definitely you know your weakness there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Belcher up 1 game. We'll get back to the match in a moment for exciting game 2 of the top 8 of Cincinnati, the Open and Legacy. So this is a trivia question. It's pretty tricky. I hope someone can get it. It's a rough one.
Please. I think
So
answering
difficult.
it's a breeze.
It is a breeze.
Yeah, you know, like if your mind's just racing trying to figure it out, freeze.
What if you forget to get it back, though?
Please.
Man, I've always missed that trigger. God. Alright. Those who have done some cube drafting are still playing with the Nabob.
Yeah,
you
this
will.
particular Nabob is one of the best.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
fall's
definitely-
coming. You might have to rake some leaves.
Who's, for a little trivia, what do you think about the Goblin Tinkerer? He's another goblin that's kind of cool that didn't get any play. Slowbad, remember that guy?
Oh, the actual Tinkerer. I was
Yeah,
gonna
the
say,
actual
I
Tinkerer.
played with Goblin Tinkerer.
No, not Goblin Tinkerer. No,
You're talking about Slowbad himself.
Slowbad, yes.
Yeah,
Slowbad.
with a name like Slowbad, I mean, yeah.
He was doomed from the start.
Yeah, you know, some people only play, one way.
Yeah.
Slowbad plays 2 ways: slow and bad.
Yes, he is just the whole awful
No,
package.
Slowbad was all right. He was actually pretty good in
He's
limited. Right?
Sack-Outlet, yeah. He's like Atog that doesn't do anything. Or the goblins have such sweet names, like Kiki Jiki, Mirror Breaker. This is sweet.
Although, I mean,
So-
everybody from Kamigawa, obviously. The people who Kamigawa can't really compare to, though, are the people from Rise of Eldrazi. How sick of a name is It That Betrays?
It That Betrays is awesome.
It That Betrays
It's
has
so
got to be
bad,
one of the.
though. Wow, man.
No, are you kidding?
Oh,
It That
what a-
Betrays is sweet.
Eldrazi, man.
I mean, obviously, you'd rather have like a Artesian of Kozilek.
RDS. Yeah, that guy was pretty sweet costed there for what he did.
Yeah.
He is uncommon. One of the few uncommon ones. Is he the only uncommon? No,
No. There's a whole bunch. What I enjoyed was the fact that all 3 of those particular gods, each had kind of their servant or whatever. There's
Yeah.
obviously the Artesian of Kozilek, the Artisan of Kozilek, and the Ulamog had his Crusher.
Yeah.
And obviously Emrakul. Emrakul's got a bunch of weird stuff, but like he's got the silly one that you have to sacrifice a whole bunch of guys. The 9 drop. Where you sack a bunch of guys to get him out earlier.
Yes. The Eldrazi where he gets sacked 4. I think it's
What's
4
his
you
name?
sack, right?
Emrakul's. I know he had a Hatcher, but that's not even the one I'm talking about.
No, he does have a hatcher, but I know the one you're talking
If
about.
you
He
can
gets-
tweet at us,
yeah.
let us know.
I think he
Who
sacked
is the
4,
one that
right?
you leave in your sideboard when you're playing Ulamog's Crusher in your Eldrazi deck?
Right, yeah.
It's what? That is Hatcher.
Yeah.
Wait, that's the colorless one, the 9 casting cost one?
There's a more expensive one that's the weakest Eldrazi, but you can sack guys to cheat him in play.
The what? No, that's another one though. There's all kinds.
Eldrazi are cool. Those are
Oh yeah.
those are real cool.
Yeah, people were actually asking earlier about, like this is only the most recent time. Magic has actually explored, various gods in different worlds a number of different times. Obviously, Corona, the false god, one of the most popular non-gods, but it
Who?
sort of is a god, and she's actually a Chroma and Phage put together.
Who is false prophet peddling? I wonder.
False prophet
Yeah.
peddling?
He's a false
Well,
prophet.
but no, she's not a false prophet. Oh, you're talking about the
the actual false prophet.
It is Hand of Emrakul.
Hand of Emrakul,
We have a
yeah.
winner. But no, like there's been a whole bunch of different gods. Like obviously
Is
Progenitus.
Corona a false god? I wonder.
Yeah, I mean it was just a Chroma and Phage kind of,
Yeah, the
put
meld,
together.
the mesh
But there's
of them,
like
too.
there was like Progenitus, and wasn't there was like another like during that whole time period when the world was being ripped open by the Alara being reborn. But of course, that isn't even the half of it. There's been any number of different gods over the course of the history of Magic.
I think Ben is mulling into 5 while we continue our sweet discussion of gods and names and goblins.
So, Godless Shrine isn't really that's pretty much the opposite of one of the earlier gods, but no, like, so some of the gods, there's obviously the Eldrazi, there's the ones from Alara Reborn. There's the one anyway.
Yeah.
There's the God. Who are some of them? Because like Leshrac and Tevich Set were just demons. They weren't gods.
No.
I know Urza had this whole complex, but he was definitely not a true god.
No. He's the one he crafted a lot of things, though, right? He was a creator. Wasn't Urza a creator?
Oh yeah. But he definitely
had an incubator, I remember, and some blueprints.
He has definitely made some better things than his incubator and his blueprints. But yeah.
And he made a bauble, I believe.
He's made so many pieces of garbage.
Yeah.
All right, turn 1, Chalice the Void, the opening that Kurt was hoping to see.
Yep, for 0.
Which shuts down Perry's Lotus Petals.
Oh, look at how many does he have? 2 and
2 Lotus Petals.
He mulled a 5 too.
Yep. So now he's got nothing. He's just hanging out.
Yeah. Gaddock Teeg.
Wow, this is a brutal. So at this point, if you're Ben Perry, rather than discard, you just play one of your Lotus Petals, right?
Yeah, definitely. So Gaddock Teeg combined with Thalia combined with Aethys Storm Canvas, that's a pretty impressive little army of dudes you have there, right?
Yeah, this is a great little opening for Kurt Crane. Yeah, Ben Perry does not have to discard yet. Fortunately, because he got to mulligan a whole bunch.
He doesn't have Krakus just in case he try to get a little froggy with a
he's putting a clock down.
Yeah. It's not looking good right now. I think it's 2 Tender Walls.
I think this is where you have to play the Lotus Petal. You just put it into play.
Yeah.
Confidently. You're going to have to put it into play confidently if you have any
Show
hope
him, what's up, who cares? I know you named that. It's alright. I know you put that on 0.
Don't even say it. Come on, you can do it. Just put the Lotus Petal into play. Show him who's boss. Yes, I think if you're going to do this, you have to not tank. Oh, here we go. No, he just puts it in the graveyard. I mean, not that it really matters, obviously. This is one of those spots where Kurt Crane has been doing this all day of people just casting spells into his chalice.
Right, yeah.
All right.
Yep, so we'll see what Kurt does here.
It looks like Kurt has a Thalia also.
Yeah. The combination of these cards...
The noose is tightening.
Right, because now you can't even land grant. Like, you can't... It's impossible without a Spirit Guide to even get your land in play.
Other than drawing the land naturally.
Other than drawing the land naturally, but...
And it's just going to get wastelanded.
Yeah, I don't think...
Yeah, this game has already slipped away.
Yeah, I think we're going to be... I don't think Ben's long for this world.
I mean, Kurt played a Time Walk on turn 1, and basically a turn 2 kill.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ben had already mulliganed. I mean, this is not Ben's game to win. He wants to win when he's on the play.
Yep, and... Play he will next game. Play he will. Got that Krakus. Tapping it for some Thalia. And then re-tapping, I think. No, he's wastelanding himself. Okay.
For bigger beats, 6 points of damage to Ben Perry.
He's holding Thoughtseize. I guess he doesn't even really need to cast it, to be honest.
Well, he doesn't have any way to make black mana.
Yeah, he did before. Or no, he actually couldn't sack any of those lands to Knight. Yep. So he's just hanging out. He's in a pretty good spot, I'd say. Looks like he drew Taxian Probe. That's not usable. He can probe him to draw a card.
No. The Thalia is making it. It would just get countered.
Yeah.
All right, Ben packs his cards in, goes to game 3.
Well, so
hey, Ben, no stranger to Belcher. I mean, he's played a lot of Belcher over the years. He knows what he signed up for.
He knows the hate was coming.
Yeah, and he's a longtime superstar in the vintage world, where he has played more than his fair share of various combo decks, stacks decks, any sort of unfair decks. Ben Perry never really known for playing the fair decks in vintage. He definitely is more of a workshop or a combo kind of guy, like Storm or any kind of unfair strategy.
Right, I'm new to the vintage scene, or actually an alien to it. I know that isn't it the big thing Vault? Is that a big thing with Tezzeret and Time Vault and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean Tezzeret is not even very good. Some people play Tezzeret still, but Jace is usually a better card than Tezzeret. Tezzeret is obviously a 1-card kill, but it costs 5 mana. Jace is basically a 1-card kill, and it only costs 4. For the most part, the whole thing with Tezzeret is really just the fact that Time Vault plus Voltaic Key is a pretty good combo. But there's a lot of really good combos in Vintage. Obviously, Tinker plus any artifact is a very strong combo.
Yeah,
which
Tinker
is,
anything.
Gets a bring up a Blightsteel Colossus, which will kill in one hit.
Right.
Yawgmoth's Will is basically a one-card kill if you have enough mana to power it. Black Lotus is basically a one-card kill if you have something good enough to play with it, whether it's Tinker or Yawgmoth's Will or anything else.
See, all this talk about Vintage, I'm with you, man. We need to have at least one. At
So
least one.
What's sick is if you go turn 1 Stoneforge Mystic off of like some kind of a Mox or something, and then you go get Skullclamp. Skullclamp is nice. You can play with 4 of them.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in is who's going to be the first person to invent Skullclamp, Glimpse of Nature, Beck Call, Kobolds. Now, they don't even have to be kobolds proper. They could also be some of the zero-cost ones, like Shield Sphere, Phyrexian Walker, any of the artifact ones.
Yeah.
But, like, there are a lot of ways to turn your... And it could be kobolds if you just want to make sure they die to the Skullclamp. But if you're in the market for that kind of thing, and then you can use cards like, I don't know, Gaia's Cradle, maybe in a player.
What was the old standard combo with Skullclamp where it would have the guy who made equipping cost 1 less, and it had the thing that made mirrors? It's like a 2-mana thing. Whenever we played an artifact, you get a 1/1 token. I forgot the name of it. It was a 2-mana artifact. You were able to play an artifact, you get a 1/1 token, so they'd play a bunch of Ornithopters and things, and equipping cost 1 less because of this random creature back in Mirrodin that made
the Powers of Knights or something?
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but there was
Dude, we could do this.
We could.
Dude, that sounds like, I don't
know what the name of it is. Someone can help me here. This is back in 2003 and 2004 time period when Skullclamp was in Standard. A fun time for all. When if you weren't playing Skullclamp, you were out of your mind. I played a green-white control deck with Skullclamp. It was pretty sweet. Ruben wins. Ruben Bresler, 2-1.
Yeah.
Newsflash.
Yeah, so we've got, we saw Big Red yesterday in Standard. Looks like Big Red is doing well here in Legacy as well. So it's not that big a red, I guess, considering that all the creatures are 1/1s and 2/2s and 0/4s and 2/1s.
Right. So Ruben was on camera a few times today. We saw nice wins on his part by playing a Blood Moon. His opponent played no more spells for the rest of the game. Ruben played against a deck where it probably isn't that cut and dry against the Elf deck. Even though they only have 1 force, you fetch your basic, you play all your guys. So even though it wasn't on camera, I'm sure Ruben had to really battle for this kind of victory.
Although I'll tell you, if you get out, that's what I'm talking about. A turn 2 Chandra Pyromaster on the play against Elves.
That is disgusting.
Taste it.
That is disgusting. So Chandra Pyromancer, possibly the 4th best Planeswalker in Legacy?
Dude, well, it's certainly...
3rd best Planeswalker in Legacy?
Maybe. All I know is that there were a lot of naysayers who were doubting Chandra Pyromaster.
Oh,
and
already
Chandra Pyromaster has top-aided Standard and Legacy Opens.
Hey, pick them up while they're hot. Chandra Pyromancer.
But why would you pick them up while they're hot?
Before they get hot, excuse me. Before they're
too
hot.
late.
It's not too late.
It's too late.
So you think Star City right now is raising the price as we speak? No way. Pick 'em
I'm
up.
just saying, Chandra Pyromaster is currently in the top 4 of the Legacy Open, coming off the bat of a Standard top 8.
Do you know what's bogus? When they unbanned Time Spiral, I went to all the websites I could possibly find, Star City included. Star City sold them legitly, so I couldn't get any. I just wanted my Time Spirals. And every website that had a mark for like $10, $12, I bought them legitimately. Got emails back from all of them saying, sorry, we actually are sold out.
That's one of the things,
right.
That's one of the things I love about
right.
Star City. When you order something and then it turns out that it gets unbanned, they always deliver. They always actually go through with it.
Yeah.
So many other places, it's like,
not now.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know you were planning on buying this from the Vault 20. Somehow we ran out. That's really weird.
That's really weird.
I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, we've tripled our price.
Is there no honor in the world of selling? Are we the only ones? Are we the...
Okay, but I don't know.
We're part of us. We're wearing Star City Game shirts.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a lot of people who are doing the honorable. I'm just saying that making sure to support all the websites that actually go through with their pre-sales and don't cancel on you, that's what I'm talking about, because that's worth slightly more than, for instance, if a website throws in a free slip and slide. You know?
Oh, no. You're out of your mind. We're going to go with the slip and slide.
Yeah, but you don't know they're really going to do it. They might be like, oh, I'm sorry, we're actually out of slip and slides.
Then I will probably get a refund then.
Maybe. I'm sorry, we're out of refunds.
Out of refunds. Out of slip and... Where do you get slip and slide from, man?
Well, certainly not Star City, but when was the last time you used a slip and slide?
I had to be at like 9 years old.
Yeah, so I was actually at a work function last week, and we were using a giant slip and slide.
Did your work functions deteriorate in a slip and slide?
Dude, you should see Louise on a slip and slide. All right, both players looking at their opening hand. I think Ben's actually going to keep his this time. He's doing the math. He keeps. That's not a good sign for Kurt Cody.
Oh, you see Kurt saying he just casually lifts his hand up like, oh no.
So
Right.
Kurt does have a lot of
He's
disruption. He
got
has turn
all
1
he
Chalice
wants.
and turn 2 Canonist.
Yep.
Possibly turn 2 Gaddock, whichever he wants.
If he draws
This
it,
is
if he
a
doesn't die.
fantastic hand if he
Right.
lives to the
If he
turn.
does not die, this hand is what he wants. Minus a Mox
He needs
Diamond.
a Mox Diamond to bring
Right.
it all together.
But ain't bad right now. Let's take a look at what Ben has. I bet you're in the same boat. We just want to see Ben's hand right now.
Now, Chalice, it's interesting because Ben can actually take one more turn. Chalice doesn't actually necessarily shut Ben out, particularly
Right.
since he knows it's coming
Right.
and can play all his Lotus Petals out of his hand.
Exactly. Oh, we have a Tinderwall. We have 2 rights.
So Lotus Petal is 1, right makes 2, another right makes 4, Tinderwall makes 5, Lotus Petal makes 6.
That's enough to Burning Wish empty the horns. Oh,
He has lions and
wow.
diamonds. So actually, not yet. That's it. All right.
Wow.
But we don't know because he doesn't have his land.
Right.
If he goes to go get Belcher, he could actually brick.
I've seen it happen before.
Yeah? Oh,
I've
yeah?
seen it happen before. So do you just empty the warrens here instead? Knowing that his hand is just cold to it? I think you empty the warrens here. You
Empty
can't
the warrens
risk.
is pretty
can
good.
You, can you risk hitting a land?
I mean, this is an empty for a lot.
We're emptying here. You have to empty here. Too risky, my friend.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this is an empty for 20
Yep.
at least.
Let's roll with the empty.
Yeah, that's 5, 6, 7.
8.
The Burning Wish is 8. Infernal Tutor is 9. Empty the Warrens is 10.
Okay.
So that is for 20.
Yep. And as Patrick said, it's better to Burning Wish for the Infernal Tutor than Infernal Tutor for the Empty the Warrens because you get an extra storm count out of it. Strictly better. 'Cause
Now,
you can
it's not clear though. I mean, Ben would know better than I if you're supposed to just, roll the dice Infernal
Oh, no
Tutor for
way.
Belcher and just make him taste it.
I think you should be able to do. You could make that call if you didn't see their hand and see that he has no answer. He can't draw anything. Like he can't draw. He needs to draw Devastating Dreams and Mox Diamond.
Can't do that. Yeah, I think he might just have 0 outs.
He has 0 outs to this.
Now, he could draw a Mox Diamond,
Right.
then make a blocker,
You're right.
right? Which
Then draw
Devastating Dreams.
That's something.
It's a parlay. The problem is he has a fetch land in his hand, so he's not gonna be able to cast the Devastating Dreams.
Yeah. Let's.
He might have boarded in the Maelstrom Pulse. Now he won't be able to cast.
Then he wouldn't be able to do that either. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
he
don't
needs
know.
your
It's
line.
a
He
tough
has
one.
to play Mox Diamond, Chump Blocker, draw a non-fetch land that can tap for red, Devastating Dreams in a row.
This is gonna be a tough one to get out of.
He's doing exactly what he said. Infernal Tutor. I do not see him getting Charbelcher here.
You think he's just gonna get the empty?
He needs to get the empty.
Yeah.
It's just too risky. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
and there
we
he
go.
gets it. Ben Perry, one of the most technically proficient Belcher players I've ever
Right,
seen.
right. Some
He has done
more- yeah.
this dance more than once.
Some more amateur players would probably go for the Charbelcher. I mean, what are the chances of hitting that land, right? Pretty good, actually. Because you need to flip 10 cards. All right.
And if our math adds up, this should be roughly 20 goblins.
Yep.
Adam Prozac would be proud.
All right, well,
How convenient. There just happened to be a stack of 20 of them sitting right here. What are the odds?
wow. So,
Yeah, Kurt.
I wonder if is it good to win on turn 1, game 1 and 2 almost? Or he didn't really win game 1, but
I mean,
it was
producing
it was pretty
20
close.
goblins on
It
the
was
first
close.
turn on the play is pretty decent.
Game 1, he would have won on turn
Is
2,
this good?
minus the removal
So,
spell.
Mark Herberholz, if you're listening, tweet at us. Let us know, is this good? If so, why? At SCG Live.
Tell him his prize, because I don't think he's going to do that.
Oh, there's
much.
no prize.
Okay.
But Mark Herberholz is probably the highest authority on whether or not this is good.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Land grant. Take that. All right, maybe it's 18.
Boom.
It's 18 then. Oh, never
No,
mind.
it's 20.
Okay.
All right, Ben Perry advances to the semifinals with his one-land Belcher deck. We knew that these legacy decks were short on mana sources, but how short we could not have known.
So we have a combination of 4 decks that was in the, what you said, the 50-ish, 52, And the combination of this deck, this one is 27
So
for 2. So we're right on par.
Yeah,
We're on par.
there's a dredge deck with 12 land, an elf deck with 11 land, a belcher deck with 1 land. So that's 24
Yeah.
land between the 3 of them.
I think this elf player is actually more of a.
Yeah, this elf player has,
he's less of a lunatic. So let's find out where he
Yeah,
is.
he's got 7, 8, 10. See, he's actually got 17.
Yeah, that's
How
a normal
weird
amount.
of a format is this
That's
where there's
normal.